know it ain't many like six though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I could show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back for another NFL predictions video. Today we are going to be covering the AFC North. I know I've been late on these posts, just been going through some things. So just without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it and look at these four AFC North teams and see how they'll stack up by the end of the season. Starting this video off today, we're going to be looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team who, I don't know how to put it, had a really bad year last year, but somehow still snuck in at the last second, the very last game, and somehow still got the 7th seed. Didn't go quite well for them playing the Chiefs first round with the team they had, but regardless, you got to admit, it's impressive that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his entire NFL head coaching career. It's insane. But, that was all with Ben Roethlisberger, who is now retired. So now the question bodes to who will get the start, Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett? And I'm glad I kind of waited to do this video because in some of the earlier prediction videos, I was saying how the Steelers didn't know what they had going on at QB, because there was a lot of questions, would it be Mason Rudolph or would it be Trubisky or would it be Pickett? Like, who would be ready? And so now, by the time I'm recording this, preseason ended last week, and I gotta say, Mitch and Kenny both played excellent. I feel like either one should start, honestly. I didn't expect Mitch Trubisky to come out and play as well as he did. I didn't expect Kenny Pickett to come out and play as well as he did. And so now, it's up for grabs with a little over a week before the real NFL season starts. Um, I don't know who's going to start. I can't choose. Well, and honestly, of course, if Mitch were to start, I feel like actually if both were to start, we'd see some inconsistencies, as we do in every quarterback. But on it, I do believe Mitch Trubisky will get the start. He started, but if he goes back to reverting like playing like Chicago Mitch, I see Kenny Pickett coming in. But at the end of the day, both these quarterbacks played really well. Both deserve to see if they can earn the spot, and that's really what it comes down to. So once Week 1 comes around, we'll be able to see that. And then the rest of the offense, you got Najee Harris, power back, amazing, can get past you, run through you, fast, can get out of the backfield. He can receive, he can catch passes. One of my favorite receivers in Deontay Johnson. I love watching Deontay Johnson play. I think he's really, really underrated. Great hands, great routes, great footwork. Um, I really don't like Chase Claypool as much as everybody else does. I feel like he's not mature, hasn't matured enough yet. But he can go up and get the ball when needed. He's a big red zone threat. He's a deep threat. Great hands, great size. Pat Fryermuth, tight end spot. He's also great. Can go up and get it. Great hands, great size. Honestly, the only thing that scares me about this offense is how weak the offensive line is. And it's watching the preseason games unfold, I can tell like even the second, I don't know they were like second stringers, third stringers, but the offensive line isn't the greatest. And the Steelers never really had a great offensive line, and they hadn't for a few years. But they somehow still make do with it, which is actually impressive. Going to the defense side, you got a future Hall of Famer in Cam Hayward on that D tackle spot. He's amazing. Yes, he is a future Hall of Famer. I don't want to hear anything about that. You really got Miles Jack in free agency from the Jaguars. That was a great signing. This is what that linebacker core needed to help succeed. Devin Bush really wasn't getting the job done. Joe Schobert wasn't really getting the job done. You got the defensive player of the year, T.J. Watt. Was superb. He should have won it back to back, I believe. Um, I think he'll be in of course he'll be in contention again, but honestly, he might get it again. He might go back to back, of course, but you're gonna have Aaron Donald and maybe Micah Parsons in that conversation as well. And then you got a top 5 safety in Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know why everybody overlooks Minka, like he's not just as good as these other safeties that we talk about, like Simmons. We talk about Justin Simmons, I think Minka Fitzpatrick is better. We talk about Derwin James, for obvious reasons. Jesse Bates, I think Minka's better than Jesse Bates. That's my opinion. But I don't see why we're not talking about Minka Fitzpatrick as much as we do these other safeties. Because I do believe Minka Fitzpatrick is a top 5. He has the capabilities of being one of the better safeties, if not the best safety in the league. But this honestly, where this Steelers team, there's a lot of questions regarding the O line and the rest of the defense. But Mike Tomlin is a great coach, and he's going to get everything figured out one way or another. Like I said, he's never had a losing season in the NFL, and I think he's been coaching since '06, around that time. So it's been quite a while. So we're just gonna have to see how the Steelers season plays out. Now let's take a look at the Steelers schedule for this coming year. So starting off, Bengals week 1, I think they'll take a loss. New England week 2, win. Browns week 3 with no Deshaun Watson, win. Jets, my bad. Jets, win. Bills, loss. Tampa Bay, loss. Miami, I'll give them the win. Philadelphia, loss. Bye week, and then you come back and play the Saints, loss. Bengals again, loss. Colts, win. Make sure you tell all the Colts fans that you know that they fucking suck. Atlanta, win. Baltimore, I'll give them the win here. Baltimore and the Ravens tend to split the series. Carolina, win. Raiders, loss. Baltimore, loss. And then ending the season with Cleveland, a Deshaun Watson-led football team now. I'll give them the loss. Realistically speaking, I only see the Steelers pulling out an 8-9 season this year, giving Mike Tomlin his first losing season as a head coach. Now, I don't want to believe it'll happen, but looking off their record and based off the players, based off the roster moves they've made, 8-9 season seems to be in order. Possibility, the ceiling could be 10 wins, 10-7, secure easy playoff spot. The floor, we're looking at 6-11. I said there's just a lot of questions. How will the quarterbacks play? How will this defense play? Not being the greatest, not having the greatest whole line, but I still think the Steelers can win games, and they'll show us why this year. The next team we'll be looking at is the Cincinnati Bengals, the runner-up from the Super Bowl last season. Now, let's get one thing straight. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. And then here come the Justin Herbert stands. But Herbert has more stats. Okay, well, Herbert's played more games because Burrow has torn his ACL in his rookie season. Granted, could have Herbert had more stats if they had played the same amount of games? Yes. But has Herbert made the playoffs? No. Oh, okay, he hasn't. Does Herbert have a playoff win under his belt? No. Oh, okay. Does he have multiple playoff wins under his belt? No. Has Herbert, made a Super Bowl coming back off of a torn ACL from the previous season? No. Herbert can have all the stats, but if he's at home on the couch watching somebody else play the Super Bowl, really doesn't mean much at the end of the day, does it? Anyways, this team starts with Joe Burrow. Great leader, great passer. He can scramble when needed. His offensive line was weak last year. Like, let's get that straight. If the offensive line wasn't so weak, we'd probably be talking about how the Bengals won the Super Bowl over the Rams. But like I said, Burrow has what it takes to win. He does, and he will win more games this coming year. He'll be back in the playoffs this next year because of how good he is and how he can lead this team. And the weapons around him are even better. Mixon, one of the best running backs. Maybe he's top 10. I wouldn't say top 5 right now, but he's creeping into that top 10. He can, he's a receiving back. He can make plays out the backfield. He threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl, which was insane. And then you got offensive rookie last year, Jamar Chase, one of my favorite receivers. I love watching Jamar Chase play. Beat you deep. Best route, not the best route running, but great route running. Great hands. He can catch a slant. We all seen what he did to the Chiefs. I believe it was like week 16, week 17. Took a simple slant route, beat like 5 Chiefs defenders that were surrounding him. Tyler Boyd, great wide receiver 3. When all the attention's focusing on Jamar or T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd is there to make plays. Speaking of T. Higgins is underrated. I don't know why people hate on T. Higgins. You can't name 30 wide receivers that you would rather have than T. Higgins. You can name a few. You could possibly name 15, 20, but there are not 30 receivers that you can name that better than T. Higgins. Like I said, there might be a few, but T. Higgins is him. I'm letting y'all know right now, he's good. That's why, and like I said, if you focus on Jamar, all your focus on Jamar, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. If you put all your focus on Jamar and T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. You put your focus on all 3 of them, Joe Mixon's going to come out of the backfield. And I do believe they just signed O.J. Howard. Good signing for a tight end spot. And their offensive line got better. Went and got Alex Kappa from free agency. He came over from Tampa. Lyle Collins came over from the Cowboys. And so the offensive line has gotten better, which is exactly what they needed for this team. Protect Joe Burrow at all costs because he's going to lead this team back to the playoffs once more. The defense, Jesse Bates, top 5 safety. I still think Minka's better, as I said in the Pittsburgh portion of this video. I'd rather have Minka, but Jesse Bates, he needs to get paid after this year. It's because somebody else will pay him. He will leave because somebody else will pay him. Mike Hilton, really impressed in the slot corner position last year. He was, he had a great year, breakout year his first year in Cincinnati. Trey Hendrickson, that defensive end coming off the line, he's great. Get you a few sacks a game. Almost led the league in sacks one year with the Saints. Von Bell, who also came over from the Saints a few years ago, great safety, plays back there with Jesse Bates. This team, they didn't get worse. They they probably got better. The O line, they beefed up the O line. They did what they needed to do. This team's going back to the playoffs. I'm not gonna say Super Bowl. They're not my Super Bowl pick. Y'all see the playoff video later on. But the Bengals are them, all right. And if you think Justin Herbert is better than Joe Burrow, shut the fuck up. Now looking at the Bengals' upcoming schedule, you start off with Pittsburgh. That's a win. Cowboys, win. Jets, win. Dolphins, win. Ravens, loss. They usually lose to the Ravens at least once a year. They didn't last. I don't think they did last year, but Saints, win. Falcons, win. Browns, no Deshaun, win. Panthers, win. Going into your bye week with one loss. Amazing. Steelers, win. Titans, win. Chiefs, loss. Browns, I think Deshaun will be back here by this time, so I'm giving this one to the Browns. Bucks, loss. Patriots, win. Bills, win. And to end the season off, the Ravens, win. Realistically speaking, a 13-4 season looks to be in order for this Bengals team. And if you think otherwise, you're an idiot. This Bengals team is good. They're going to cause more havoc than they did last year. They're going back to the playoffs as a top seed, in my opinion. Now, there might be a few games they drop. Who knows? Maybe the ceiling goes 15 wins. And then maybe the floor, I see 10 wins. But this Bengals team is going to be good regardless. Does not matter. This Bengals team will be good, and Joe Burrow is still better than Justin Herbert. The next team up is the Baltimore Ravens, a team started off hot last year, and injuries caused them to slow down and ultimately miss the playoffs. It sucked to see because the Ravens were actually really good last year. And it all starts with Lamar Jackson. So disrespected in this league for no reason. One of the better running quarterbacks, can make plays with his legs. He can throw the ball. I hate that fucking running back joke because it's so stupid. He's one of the better throwers in this league. He deserves the money he wants. He deserves it because he has the potential and everything around him to be an MVP candidate every year because of the way he plays. He puts this team on his back, and he has to do so now more than ever this season because of everything the Ravens have been through. So, starting off, like I said, Lamar, pay the man his money. I don't need to even say much about Lamar because we all know what he's capable of doing. Now, the RB situation. J.K. Dobbins went out ACL last year, missed the entire year. You had Le'Veon Bell come in. You had Devontae Freeman come in last year. That's not really good. I know you had Latavius Murray at one point. All running backs who are really out of their prime and were good for what they were back in 2016, 2017, 2018. But now, you get J.K. Dobbins back and you go out and get Kenyon Drake. I believe they signed Kenyon Drake just for the reassurance that if J.K. Dobbins is ready to go straight off the bat, Kenyon Drake can go in there and make some plays for him as a receiving back, and Jake. Or maybe they utilize both. Maybe they utilize even Lamar. Have a three backfield committee right there. Do a little option play with Kenyon Drake, Dobbins, Lamar. I feel like that could also work. But Dobbins will be the workhorse. Obviously, this is his starting spot. They just need him to be healthy again. Your wide receiver core is weak. Other than Rashad Bateman, who he's going to prove a lot of people wrong this year about him, and he's going to show why he was a first rounder a few years ago. and Mark Andrews, who is a top three tight end. Actually, top five, because I don't top three is sketchy, but top five tight end, great tight end, fantasy stud. But the rest of the receiver core is really weak. Like I said, Lamar's gonna have to put the team on his back more than ever this year because of this. You lost Marquise Brown to a trade to the Cardinals, and even when in Baltimore, Marquise Brown wasn't, a really great wide receiver one. Use their first pick, use the Cardinals first round pick that they sent you on the offensive lineman. It just got better. This offensive line is great, which allows Lamar to be great as well. Um, like I said, this offense, it's just really the wide receiver core that scares me about this offense. They're great O line, amazing, great quarterback. Bateman and Andrews are going to be great this year. But the rest of the receiving core, I feel like we're going to see some people step up, I believe anyway. But and then going to the defense, you got a great cornerback in Marlon Humphrey, who some people consider him top five. You get Marcus Peters back from injury. He missed entirety of last year with, I believe, an ACL injury that happened last year in camp. You got Marcus Williams from free agency from the Saints. You paid him great money to be there. And now it kind of bothers me that he's getting his respect that he deserves now. But when he was on the Saints, he was always just trash because he was on the Saints. He was never shown the respect. But now that he's on the Ravens, he's getting that respect he deserves. It's whatever. And then you went and drafted Kyle Hamilton in the first round. Great safety pickup. He is one of the better safeties I've seen at reading an offense. Playing at Notre Dame, watching him, he's fast, quick, make a play on the ball from the opposite side of the field. And I think this Ravens team, they like to take risks, and that's because of Coach Harbaugh. I remember last year watching the Packers game. They went for two to try to win with Tyler Huntley. He played great last year, even when Lamar was down. Beating the Chiefs last year, coming back from down for that. Coming back down from beating the Colts from 25-9. Yeah, fuck you, Colts. I'm glad y'all lost that game. Shows it's the epitome of the Colts. Let me stop because this is not a Colts slander video. But this Ravens team has the potential to win games. Their defense got better. They're getting people back. Lamar's going to come back. He's going to be in contention for comeback player of the year. Only thing that scares me, this wide receiver core. However, the rest of the team will pick up the slack. Now, looking at this Ravens schedule for this upcoming year, start off week 1, Jets, win. Dolphins, win. Patriots, win. Bills, loss. Bengals, I think I said the Ravens lose this one, so give them the loss. Giants, win. Browns, win. Bucks, loss. Saints, I think I said loss for the Ravens right here. And then you go into your bye week. You come out, you play the Panthers, win. Jacksonville, win. Broncos, win. Steelers, loss. Browns, win. Falcons, win. Steelers, win. And then the Bengals will loss. Realistically speaking, I see the Ravens going 10-7. I messed up on the predictions. I said in the Steelers part that the Ravens and Steelers usually split the series, and I gave both wins to the Ravens, so I had to fix that. So instead of going 11-6, I have the Ravens going 10-7. Ceiling will give them 12 wins, and the floor will give them 8 wins. This Raven team is going to be good. Regardless of what people think, I think this team will be great this year, especially with all the struggles they're going to have at wide receiver. I think Lamar will be in contention for MVP as well. And now looking at the final team on this division, the Cleveland Browns. A lot of controversy in the offseason, that's the best way I can put it. And it all starts with Deshaun Watson. You're not going to have him for 11 games. Should have been a whole season, in my opinion. We're not going to get into that. I don't really speak on that kind of stuff. But honestly, if I thought he deserved a whole season suspension, if Calvin Ridley got suspended for a year just for gambling legally. But I don't run things in the NFL, so it's not my choice, not my decision. I just have to live with it. But Deshaun Watson is gonna miss the first 11 games. Not really much you can do. 11 games is lengthy. That basically decides your season. But Jacoby Brissett is a good, backup. He's a great fill-in. He had some brief stints with the Colts and the Patriots where, he won games for both teams, but because he's a good backup. And so I think he'll win a few games for this Browns team while waiting on Deshaun's suspension to, clear up. And then, you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield. That's a great running back duo. Just hand Nick Chubb the ball, hand both of them the ball because this offensive line is also great. They can make holes for these two running backs, and they could pile up the yards on any team. Uh, Nick Chubb's a top five running back in my opinion. Kareem Hunt's one of the better receiving backs in this league. So splitting reps isn't that hard for them. And I do think they'll rely on mostly Nick Chubb while Deshaun is suspended. I don't think they'll be throwing the ball as much. And Nick Chubb is just a workhorse. He's going to be great. So he's ready for any challenge that's going to come his way this year. You got Amari Cooper in a trade from the Cowboys, much needed after losing, Odell, after losing Jarvis Landry. Didn't really have a real wide receiver one, so getting Amari Cooper is going to be good for this team. That's what they needed. Great route runner, great hands. He's not Amari Cooper isn't the fastest, but he can make plays. Donovan Peoples Jones is a great wide receiver two, wide receiver three. He made some plays last year, some really great plays last year, going up and getting the ball. He also has great hands. So I'm really excited to see what he can do with more potential. You have David Njoku who just re-signed, great tight end, big body tight end. He's faster than what people really give him credit for. So, he's going to be good this year. And like I said earlier, they have a great O line. So, this Browns offense is, they're decent right now. They're good, decent, good. Wouldn't say they're a great offense. And it really depends on how Deshaun plays when he gets back. He's sat out of football for an entire year. And we know we seen how that affects some people. Le'Veon Bell sitting out a whole year. We seen how that affected the rest of his career. Um, and there's a lot of other examples, but hopefully Deshaun plays well. I know a lot of people are going to give him hate just for playing. Like I said, I really can't get into that stuff. I don't have, you know, but hopefully Deshaun will play well for this Browns team when he does come back. And then we know that we look at the defense. You have Miles Garrett, a potential defensive player of the year. He's Miles Garrett is just an athlete. We all know what Miles Garrett can do. There's not much to say. Denzel Ward, people consider him a top five corner. Personally, not me, but Denzel Ward he's good. He can lock down the best of them. He can play on that island when needed. You got Clowney on the other end of Miles Garrett, who's also, he's, getting up there in age, low key kind of washed, but he can make plays still. You got Greg Newsome on the other side of Denzel Ward. He played very well for a rookie last year. I believe he allowed uh, only about 20% catches of the catch rate in zone coverage last year. So that was really good of him. You got Owusu Koromora, also known as Connor Hamaru, leading that middle linebacker group. He's fast, he's great, he can tackle really well. And then you got Grant Delpit, John Johnson running out the safety group. Like I said, this Browns team, they're struggle. They went through struggles last year, but I do think they can pick it up. I'm just not sure if they will. Starting off with the Browns' schedule, it's a Baker Mayfield revenge game against the Panthers. Panthers win this one. Play the Jets, win. Steelers, loss. I believe I said that. Falcons win. Chargers loss. Patriots lost. Ravens loss. Bengals loss. Then you go into your bye week. You play the Dolphins, loss. Then week 11 comes around, you get Deshaun back. You play the Bills, loss. Buccaneers, loss. Then you got the Texans, win. Bengals, win. Ravens, win. Then you got the Saints. I said loss on the Saints. Then you play the Commanders and Steelers to round out the year, and both of those games will be wins. Realistically speaking, Browns only go 7-10. The Deshaun Watson suspension will hurt this team. Um, and that's really all I can say. Maybe they get 9 games, and maybe they only win 5. Who knows? But like I said, the Deshaun Watson suspension is going to hurt this team quite a bit. Like I said, I do think Jacoby Brissett can win games. I just don't think he will. He's a solid backup, but when he's thrown into that starter position, I don't think he'd do so great. But like I said, we'll just have to see. Just want to say thank you for tuning in for another episode. We got 2 more divisions left, and I'm also going to do my playoff predictions for the year. Uh, the first game is next Thursday, so I will get these videos out by then. And trying to, I started class, and I'm also in the moving process right now, so that's why the videos have been slow. Sorry for not posting out of context today. Just thought I'd take a break. But once I get my move done, once I'm actually in my new place, more videos will be coming sooner. A lot more videos, new series, new everything. So just please stay patient. And like I said, I'll get the rest of the prediction videos out before Thursday. So thanks for watching.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different